are live. Hit the buttons, boys and girls, and let's make this look. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Tuesday edition of Tackle Talk. It's your boy Beards. What are you guys doing? Let's give a little shout out to everybody hanging out. How about that, boys and girls? We got rhymes all the times. Who do we got in here? Let's go up and scroll. Mark Pappas takes first. Goodness, I never thought I'd see the day. Kristen J, Robert Sharp, Trisha hanging out. What have you guys been up to, man? How's the sound? Is it too much? Is it not enough? Help me out, guys. I had some settings. I figured it out. I think I figured this out. I need you guys' help. Tell me what's going on here. Too much? Not enough? Sounds weird, sounds good, sounds full, sounds thin. Somebody help me out with this, guys. Come on, where are you guys at? Robert says I'm good. I'm trying to get that special sweet spot where you guys don't have to have your device all the way up and I can still have a conversation at my normal speaking voice. Thanks, Kristen J. Guys, tonight we're going to have some fun. We're going to hang out. We're all going to talk to each other, and we're going to engage in some conversation. Thank you, Trisha. Everybody, you guys are great. It's the delay that gets me every time. You know what I mean? It's the delay. So we're going to talk a little bit tonight about... First, we're going to get into the topic of this evening's conversation, which is cold front fishing. Cold front fishing. I know if you live, I don't know, anywhere in this hemisphere, the Western Hemisphere, it's cold front seasons. We're going to start getting them. It's going to get a little chilly. It was supposed to get chilly on Saturday, and now all of a sudden it's pushing in chilly on a Tuesday night, which means that everything's going to get a little bit interesting. I'm kind of throwing the playbook right out the window when it comes to the event in February. Not that I'm throwing the playbook out, but what I mean by that is that... the time that I should be spent preparing, I'm just kind of brushing up for what kind of season I might be dealing with here, because as early as it looks like we might be pushing into winter, it's also coming up on the end of December before we even start getting our first cold streaks, which, I mean, we had a couple of weeks back, but they were nothing like, you know, a full solid week and a half. Right after the Ian, you know, we had a pretty good cold front set in for about 5 days, and that was a real shocker on the system. But then we get, you know, like we talk about all the time, guys, then that warming trend starts going up. Let's see here. Robert says 35 and rain here. Guys, do me a favor. Work the chat for a second. What is the weather? What's the temperature look like where you guys are at? I think it's kind of important. I think it's something we should definitely talk about right now. 28. Trisha, don't go outside. Ban that altogether. Everyone stay inside and nobody do anything other than blankets and thermal socks, underwear, hot cocoa, and few and minimal trips to the store. 28 degrees. Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen, just so you know, Trisha. Kristen J's out on the West Coast, and who knows what the temperature is running like out there. That's exactly how it should be, Trisha. Everyone should be working from home. Once it reaches 32 degrees, I think the entire world should just be like, yeah, it's unsafe. Everybody just stay home. It's, you know, we're going to pay you. And then the government can do something good, like, I don't know, refund the people back their money in tax appreciation. But, you know, let's not talk about that stuff. It makes too much sense. It's 57 in my house. Kristen J, that is way too cold. Is that like you running the AC? Yeah, you're probably ACing it up. No, I'm just kidding. It gets cold out in California, certain parts of California, and that's for sure. But nonetheless, it looks like all of us in the Western Hemisphere are experiencing the same thing, and that's the onset of the first cold fronts of the season, guys. So, without further ado, what do you do when it comes to fishing the cold front? Anybody got any ideas? Throw them in there. We'll see what happens. While you guys are thinking about that kind of stuff, let's take a second and get a word from our sponsor. Oh, what's that? You noticed? My fishing gloves? No, those are cool. Yeah, Those are the new Heathen Squad socks for sure, folks. I'll tell you, my fishing day couldn't get any better. I got my gloves and I got my socks. Heathensquad.com. Little music going in the background while I'm fiddling around. Listen, we're doing it live. I should have done this earlier, but I wasn't. I found a couple of cool channels, you guys. I found a guy, he come and hung out the other day. That was pretty neat. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I guess no. No, we don't. I don't have any new subscribers. I thought I did. My number on YouTube is moving around a lot. It's going up 2, -1, +4s. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, let's just be honest. Do we really know what the heck's going on with the channels nowadays? I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. You know, it's a little tough when you're doing some fishing stuff, though. You know, you can't expect to jump into the genre and just know what's going on. But, guys, I'm trying to do some neat stuff. Got a couple of new ideas. I'm going to start doing a few things. We're going to see real soon. I'm trying to talk a few people into coming on the show. I personally think that's going to be a lot of fun. Whether or not those people come on the show, whether they have time and stuff. I'm thinking about getting some creators. I'm thinking about getting some other fishing channel guys and throwing them in the live. We'll see where that goes. You know what I mean? It depends, man. I kind of don't like people. So as weird as this is that I'm in here sitting and talking to myself, you know, it's fine, you know. I would much rather have another person on the screen with me and make it a little bit easier for me. But nonetheless, we're gonna make it happen. We'll just see. I don't know. We might have some real fishermen try. I'm trying, you guys. I'm trying. Robert says new math. New math, huh? All right, guys. So, back to the topic at hand again. Cold front fishing, guys. It's pretty much the consensus of everybody hanging out, you know, and I'm sure everybody listening to the show later on, that it's getting cold, man, no matter where you go or no matter what you're doing. So the key for us as anglers is, how do we adjust to cold frontal conditions? Well, I just recently went out, guys, on one of those fishing trips. So here we go. You guys know what time it is. We're going to do it. Here it goes. You ready? Oh, hold on. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Cold frontal fishing? There's the question mark. You know what I'm saying? Cold frontal fishing, guys. What do you do? What changes? What adjustments do you as the angler have to make? And what happens to the fish? Because it seems like no matter how hard you try to fish in the cold when the fronts start coming in, you really end up with one of two scenarios. Either you're on them or you're not even going to find them. And I'll show you guys. We just recently had a fishing trip, guys. We went down to Donkey Land, also known as Lake Kenansville. And guys, I don't know if it's just me, if I'm the curse on this lake, because Buddy has been out to this lake like a million times and had fire days. And the minute I get on the boat, everything changes. Everything changes, for those of you that don't know. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me set this up a little bit. So how do you know if it's coming into frontal or cold frontal in your area? Well, I'll tell you how. If your humidity levels are really, really high, like they are down here in the south, the thing you're going to notice is very, very, very thick, dense fog. It's the same way across the hemisphere, all the way across. The fog, when the cold fronts come in, there's usually a very heavy, dense fog that comes in just before that. So we go down to Kenansville. I'm meeting Buddy down there, right? Sorry, I got an itch. So I'm meeting Buddy down there, right? And I'm driving down this super, super smooth road. I'm not going to find them because my the house. Yeah, right. Um, I'm going on the super smooth road and I'm talking to Buddy on the phone, which, you know, I go hands free. So it's the least I could do is be hands free. Well, all of a sudden I was like, yo, I got to go. And I slam on the brakes because in the road, now it's still a good distance of maybe 25, 30 yards once the vehicle comes to a complete stop because I don't drive like a jerk. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I know I could fly around and stuff. And no, I don't fly around and stuff because I've seen too many animals on the side of the road in the woods, and knowing that the fog is so thick that I've got the regular headlights and I've got the fog lights on in the truck, and I am literally seeing maybe 2.5, 3 feet. But what I can see, like I said, is this dark mass that's just in the distance as I'm applying major pressure to the brakes. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this has got to stop. I got to stop. Whatever this is, dude, not going to be good for anyone, especially not the guy driving the car. Yeah. So here we go. I start to creep up to this thing and I notice it's not moving, boys and girls. It's not moving. Whatever this thing is, and just the other day, I seen a really massive bear. So I was thinking, dude, is this going to end up being like a bear? You know what I'm saying? So I'm creeping up to it slow. I'm not getting out of the truck. You know. No. Hey, Mark, what's going on, bud? No, I'm not getting out of the truck, and I'll tell you why, dude, because I don't know what this is, and if it is like a bear, like a baby bear or a bear cub or even a mama bear, and there's like a daddy bear somewhere close, it's game over for your boy Beards. You understand what I'm saying? Game over. But that's not it. So I'm creeping up on this thing, and all of a sudden it does like this. You guys ready for this? I'm going to do my best impression. That's what it does. And guys, there are 4-inch tusks sticking out of the side of this thing's face when it turns. Okay, 4-inch tusks, dude. This is like a 300 to 400 pound boar. You understand what I'm saying? This is a beast. This thing is massive, and he is pissed. He turns instantly towards the truck, and all I'm thinking is, this is why we have skid plates, you know what I'm saying? And I have a nasty, nasty, thick skid plate on the bottom of my truck, and if this thing decides it's coming at me, I'm not letting him dent a fender. No. I am smearing him face down into the ground when he bounces off and deflects off that skid plate, and I'm moving on. You know what I'm saying? I'm going about my business. I ain't too worried about him after that, right? Well, this thing snorts like twice, and I could see it because, remember, it's getting real cool, guys. The fog's real thick, and as he's huffing out his little nostrils, and they're not little, this thing's nose is like about that big around. So picture this. Like, it could eat my head real easy. It could take a big chunk out of your boy's melon, right? Well, that's okay. I'm not getting out of the truck. And if I do, there'll be hots, okay? For those of you that know, listen, it's coming right at me. It was coming right at me. You know what I'm talking about, right? The old it's coming right at me trick. You got to do that one. This way it's all kosher in the event that anyone says, hey, you killed. Yep. Yeah, I did. This standing ground state. That applies to wild game. Period. You know, that's how the state of Florida works. You're covered. But anyway, so this thing decides the truck is a little bit more than it wants to tangle because I laid on the horn. Now, for those of you that remember the horn, okay, remember I have a Nissan, so very feminine. You understand? It's a cross between a Kia and what's the other one that I love so much? That little electric car, hybrid car there. Oh my god, I can't even think of what it is now. It's Prius. That's my horn's somewhere in the middle of a Kia and a Prius. I don't know. Nissan never really put much thought into their horns. You know what I mean? Like a lot of companies don't. I think if they got their act together and put more, a little bit more masculine horns on vehicles, I guarantee it would lower insurance rates just due to the fact that there'd be less accidents. Because if you think a train's gonna hit you, dude, yeah, you start paying attention real quick when you're out on the road. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay. So let's set the whole scene here, boys and girls. So there we are. Me and the boar. Eye to eye. I'm in the truck. I got the heater. Ready to do this. You understand what I'm saying? Boar decides he don't want none. Even after the feminine horn. Okay, boar don't want none. He decides he's just gonna run. And when I say this thing's gonna run, I had no idea that these things do like 30 miles an hour, dude. Like 30 miles an hour. This thing takes off like a rocket, right? And I'm like, whoa! Unfortunately, on the whole right side of the road is fence. Fence, dude. This thing can't get away from me if he wanted to. On the right side of the road, fence. That's where people live. This thing is just bolting for all of its life, dude. Now I feel bad because I'm like not like right behind him, but I'm still seeing his movement and he is terrified, dude. I could see it in his face. Like he wasn't good with this whole event. He took off, right? So I knew right off the bat after that, when he broke through the fence, he like basically just fit his porky little body right through some break and some fence wire there and rolled out, which is fine by me. I could care less, you know what I'm saying? But the moral of the story is, guys, I got a few rules about fishing. One of them is if it's cold, don't go. If it's foggy on the ride in, turn around. If you see giant animals on the way, go ahead and call it, because that's not going to be a good sign. But without further ado, boys and girls, let's do it. Let's do this. Let's take a little adventure, a little walk down the other day. Hey folks, it's your boy Beards here. We're out on he's got to do it like this. Hey folks, we're out on that's it, guys. Lake here, and we're catching little fish. There is some little fish out here on Kenansville, but we're gonna see what it looks like. You guys, I'll catch you in a minute. All right, guys. So remember, we're out on Kenansville. Remember the rules. Don't fish on a foggy on the ride in day. You can barely see. You can just barely make out like in the background behind my left ear. Your right, my left ear. There's some land over there or some kind of structure, but it's like zero visibility, you guys. Zero visibility. There's like water gathering in my beard at this time. It's flowing out as we speak. It was a terrible experience. But nonetheless, sounds like the third fish I caught. I've got no cameras running. Everything is soaking wet. Like you guys have no idea how much moisture we're talking about here.
Oh, got it. Dink. Dink.
You guys know it. Every single time I go to Kenansville, you guys. Dink. Dink.
Hey.
Proof of life, right?
Proof of life, bud.
You guys saw the commercial.
That's funny.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, it's just.
Now, I know you guys just heard Buddy. Buddy pulled out with a out of here with that bait, dude. You understand what I'm saying? Like he's had enough of this bait. He's had enough.
Another dink. I go from a real fish to this. Next cast. It's legally a bait fish. That is a bait fish.
That's funny.
Oh, he just missed it. I'm looking. Oh, he missed it again.
Guys, did you hear the first one? I'm looking at Buddy, right? And I pull my stuff out of the driller. And I hear, whoosh. So I stop. I says, no, what was that? That's a fish. So I go ahead and start reeling up again, right? Next thing you know, he hits it again, trying to eat it on the top. And I was thinking to myself, it's never going to happen. What are the odds, right? Come on.
Got him. How about third time's a charm, buddy?
It is I mean, bro, that fish was meant to be caught, I guess. Like, he was on it. Like, he was totally on it. And another dink. And us rolling out. So, to give you an idea, guys, did you notice one thing about that video? Every single fish I caught was on the exact same bait all day. Now, we threw, I brought 9 rods, and I threw 8 of 9. To give you an idea. On the Gray Goose, yeah, Jeff, that's the Gray Goose. Is that what you named it? That's funny. Yeah, no, it was terrible, man. It was a rough day, dude. They sprayed the north end. They left the south end alone. Last time it was vice versa. It was proof of life was all we were looking for, basically, man. But I wanted to talk to you guys because one of the things that I will tell you, if anything I can tell you, is that in the colder months, as these cold transitions start to kick in, you guys, the one thing that you will notice is that all the fish congregate in the same area. I don't want to say all of them, but the majority of your fish are going to be in the same area. And when we broke this lake down, we broke this lake down 3 different ways. And all 3 ways brought us to the same point for fish. And the only issue that we had then is that the fish just were not in the mood. They were not cooperating. Again, where were we finding fish? We were throwing topwater stuff all day, and we weren't really getting much action during the mornings just because it was a cooler temperature. I mean, at one point I remember we were both laughing we should have brought hoodies because the ride out on the water was a little chill, a little brisk. You know, and that should have been a dead nuts giveaway. Not to mention they were duck hunting, and you know, bullets were or shot was whizzing just above our heads several times. We discussed that. That really put a damper on our ability to, I guess you could say, focus in the morning. You know, there's nothing better than duck hunters shooting at you when you're starting your fishing day. So, what do I advise for a technique in the colder weather? Well, I will tell you guys, start thinking about your worm game, your Senko game, start thinking about your slow fall baits, start thinking about your flukes, working them slower in your cadence down. Now that's in moderation, okay? Hear me out. You might not have to slow down at all, just depending on the temperature of your water. But during these colder seasons, what I will tell you is if you're not on the fish, there's no fish there. Because if you do find the fish, one, if not more of those fish will be more than apt to attack whatever you throw at them. So remember that when it comes to this time of year, when it starts to get into the colder, times of the year and these cold fronts start coming in, and then really pay close attention to prefrontal and prefrontal and post-frontal fishing conditions. Because these are going to get real interesting. Remember, guys, we've got colder ambient ambient temperatures. That's the air outside of the water. And then we've got surface temperatures, okay? And that's going to be your transition area between the exterior temperature and the water. That could be, depending on the temperature exterior and the temperature of the water itself, that area is going to be X, okay? That's just the number we got to work on together. What will it be? I don't know. It's always going to vary. It's always going to be different. So when you find out that first layer, then you have all the layers below. But remember, as we've talked about 100 times, and I'll continue stressing this same point, only because I'm reminding myself this same point, is that deeper water usually has more stable temperature. Let me rephrase that. Deeper water has more stable temperature. Hey, Faye, how you doing? That's an important thing. If I can tell you anything, guys, remember, the fish are going to be highly and densely populated in deeper water. Most of the time, it's going to end up being offshore. They're going to venture inshore or onshore, not really onshore, but in towards the shore to find spawning areas. So this time of year, you're looking for clear water where bass are going to hang out. Might not be as clear as you think it's going to be, because remember, guys, we've talked about this as well. So this is another point just to keep in the back of your melon. Particulates in the water warm up the water faster, so there might be bass traveling in the 3 to 5 foot water area even though the temperature's down. If the sun is out and not covered up by clouds, so that would mean it would be in that transition to high pressure, low pressure, you're never going to know, but you can base their location in the water column on the clouds. That's another thing you guys are going to notice. If it gets a little cloudy, it gets a little windy, but your temperatures are right, fish will be active, and you'll catch more fish this time of year. Now, remember, if you're on them, you're on them. But if you're not on them, there's no fish where you are. You need to make that move. And that's a very important thing this time of year. And I know what you guys are thinking. I mean, bud, you could spend all day driving around. You might just spend all day driving around, but if you do find fish schooled up as these cold fronts start to come in deeper water, you could maybe in deeper water on some structure. This is when your imaging stuff's going to start coming into play. This is when a lot of your down sonars are going to start coming into play. Your standard fish finders are going to start coming into play. I've actually found some of these brush piles or congregated areas where stuff is just sunk. And you know, that's a big deal right about now. There's going to be fish setting up on those. They're going to provide them with enough food that'll last them in through the colder weather, because in the colder weather, fish tend to get more lethargic. We've also talked about that 100 times. But remember, with your pressure, high pressure fish go deep, low pressure shallow. So that'll be a given for you guys if you do locate fish beds right now. If you do know where your bedding areas are, where your bottom's nice and clean, or where your hydrilla keeps the water nice and clear so the fish it's easily oxygenated for the fish, gravitate towards those areas on low pressure is what I'm going to tell you. Definitely gravitate towards those areas on low pressure. I'm going to do the same myself. I'm getting ready. I've got the Blue Pearl. She's rocking and rolling. I'm excited. I got a couple more things to do, and we'll make it happen. We're going to make it happen. We're going to have some fun this year. We got some stuff going on. We got tournaments coming up this next year. I don't know if I'm going to do a derby series. I'm really not interested in doing a local derby, and it's not that I'm like, you're too good for a derby. No. I'm saying I don't think my boat could handle a derby series with the limited use that I've had on the boat up to this point. I don't know if I want to throw it in every Wednesday night for like 2 months. I don't think that's the best idea, to be honest with you. Yeah, so there's that. We're gonna see, man. Still gotta put the prop part in. Got the puppy. Puppy's fantastic, you guys. If you haven't seen the puppy, check out the community channel, because I stuck some pictures of the puppy. Well, one picture of the puppy on there. He's just too damn energetic to get any more pictures of him. I'm noticing I've got a little bit of a lighting issue. Oh, guys, check it out. So, Faye, can you hear me? I'm hoping Faye can hear me real good. Because listen, I figured out what's going on here, Faye. So every time I take my headphones off, you guys see this cord right here? I throw this cord up on the Rodecaster. Well, every time this thing just sits on the Rodecaster for a long period of time and then this cord falls, it pulls the slider down. And when it pulls the slider down, like I lose massive amounts of sound. So a little low. I'll tell you, I don't know, Faye. I don't think there's much more I can do. I'm showing red lines over here. So, but I do see that I bumped my lighting. Sorry, guys. I got too much shade on one side. Yeah, my color looks raw. I don't know. Updates, man. Updates. Every time I turn around, I got something else going on. Camera had an update today, so I'm sure that did a little bit of damage. We'll see. We'll see. Anybody got any big plans coming up? You got a little holiday time coming? Anybody taking a little vacation? I would like a little vacation. I would definitely like a little vacation. I don't think anything would make me happier than a little vacation, but she has her tablet to her ear. You're the best, Faye. You're such a team player. But guys, start thinking about slower moving baits. If you are going to work some type of crankbait, you know, you're looking to target that 3 to 5 area that we were talking about earlier, where fish will come up and start exploring, or if it's a, you know, no overcast and it's a nice bright sunny day, but the water's a little particulated, you know, it's not really stained, but more like cloudy. You will find fish in those areas. You will find them for sure, if they're there. And if they are there, there'll be a lot of them there. So that's where it gets interesting, because what you might not see is that they're down there cleaning out beds or something, waiting for that water to clear out. So if you do get a chance to ride around and you're looking to target certain areas, look for those shallow sand flats. If you have clean bottom, then you have clear water. And if you have those two things, you're going to find that the spawning fish are going to get real active. They will start to migrate to those areas. Don't give up on them. Keep popping in and checking, because when it does happen, it's going to be a lot of them. And if it is a lot of them and you need them, you know, it can be a game changer for you. For sure it can be a game changer, especially, like I said, if you're fishing in some of these tournament series and stuff like that, or if you're just looking to go out and have a better fishing day than you've ever had. You know, if you're looking to change your luck, so to speak. It'll change your life. It'll change your life. Just like the socks. They'll change your life. So, well, guys, I'll tell you, this adventure that we're all on, as far as this fishing game and all the stuff we've been doing, we're coming up on the 50th episode of Tackle Talk, guys. 50 episodes. That's 50 weeks. That's almost one full year. One full year of content on the channel. I really want to thank you guys. I do. I appreciate it. I think it's really cool. I'm really hoping we can turn this Tackle Talk thing into a little bit of fun, get some people on here, make it a little interesting so it's not just me talking to myself and trying to talk to you guys. Staying home. Mark's staying home. Congratulations, man. I think a lot of people are staying home this year for the holidays. I don't see myself going anywhere. My brother's getting ready to have a kid next year, so we're probably going to end up having to travel over there because he don't want to travel with the baby. So, you know how that goes. I agree. I hated traveling with an infant. I really did. My son did just doctor's appointments and necessities up until he was like, I don't know, 7-8 months, you know, when it was a little bit less for me to deal with because he wouldn't have the issues. When little babies can sometimes be tough. And the last thing you want to do is have your kid like getting used to falling asleep in the car, because that's really rough as they get older. Then every time they get in the car, they pass out and stuff, and you don't want that. That's never any fun. Yeah, so we're back to that. That was a lot of fun. Kid, rearing children's. You know, having a puppy again. Oh, man, let's tell stories for a minute. You guys want to hang out for a couple more minutes? Spend some time on North Ice out fishing. Are you really? Robert Sharp, you're going fishing on the North Ice? Ooh, that's exciting. That's really exciting. I wish I could do something like that. But no, I don't want to do anything like that. It's way too cold for me, man. But there are big fish down there. But Robert, you know, that's a good thing. You know, I'm glad Robert brought this up. Robert, go ahead and put this in the chat, man. You know, ice fishing's the same way. If you stayed in the same hole all day ice fishing, Robert, you would end up with 0. How many holes do you put in the ice when you're out ice fishing? And just a question, because, I mean, if you got a spot, you got a spot. If you know a general area you go back to every year and there's fish there's probably a reason. But what I'm saying is when you're on the hunt ice fishing, guys, I hope you got a good auger. I really hope you got a good auger, because if you think you're just going to bust holes, or you think you're just going to, no ice here yet, but 2 weeks. Yeah, nice. You need to do a show on it. Yeah, I might need to do a show on that, Robert, but we don't have any ice down here, so I really couldn't tell anybody about it. But yeah, search patterns are really crazy when it comes to ice fishing, man. I mean, I've done my fair share of ice fishing, okay? And I remember picking ice for the longest time, and then we elevated up to the chainsaw cutting squares, and we'd have 2 of us sitting around fishing a square. That's never any fun, because guys, you got to be able to get that giant block of ice out of there, or you can be smart like we were, and you can cut it down, right? And then you can take your picks and just push it down and move it to the side, and that'll be it. You know what I mean? That ice is gone. You don't have to worry about it. It's out of the way. Now, I think they made that illegal in some states, though, because it wouldn't fill up, and then people go out there and fall in it. And yeah, no, it takes a little while to freeze that ice over that thick again. Don't think it doesn't, because it really, really does. So they require certain size holes and stuff like that. I don't know, though. Some states, I see people doing the gaffs, you know, like the Trident style gaffs. I see them doing that all the time in the North Lakes. I've seen, oh, God, I can't tell you how many YouTube videos of that. Yeah, so, you know, like I said, search patterns are really interesting. Just remember that, you know, the cool thing about ice fishing, and this is one of the things that I remembered, is like you'd find an area on the bank, right? You'd find an area on the bank and you'd cast to it, and there'd sometimes be fish there, right? And then come ice fishing season, you literally walk right out on that spot and cut a hole and fish that spot, and you'd be surprised, there's fish there. The majority of the time you will end up finding fish there, and it's just a little funny thing about ice fishing. You know, you don't always have to go as far as you want, but if you pay attention to your topographical maps, you know, and stuff like that, and you really start looking at your sonar maps and your charts on those areas, you might just wander right out on the perfect spot where everything is congregating, like all the fish in the sea type of thing. Oh, no way, Faye. That's never good. That's never good. No ice, though. Finally some snow. Oh, wow. Finally just got some snow in Ontario. Woo! That's a little late, and ended in middle of December, you guys. Usually, well, I don't know. It depends where you are in Canada. But usually our northern states right now are getting beat on, too. And that's what's got me thinking we might be in, like, whipping cold come February. Like, this might be a situation where I might have to break out some thermal fishing gloves just to make sure my hands still work. You know what I mean? And that'll mean that it's going to be a hunt. It's going to be a search fest at that point. If we end up in a situation like that where it's just wide open, frozen, oh, it's going to make for an interesting fishing days. 3 of them, as a matter of fact. But if I can find them, and I got my boat with the trolling motor and stuff, so I can put in some work. I'm going to have to do a lot of pre-fishing and see if I can find me a pattern and a movement and establish that before February comes up. Oh, it's always something, man. Always something. This is how my brain works, guys. This is the kind of stuff I think about when I'm planning for my fishing trips and stuff. I got a lot of stuff to do. You know, like I said, we still got some stuff to do on the boat. We might have a little surprise on the boat. We're going to see. We're going to let things work their way out, guys. And, you know, let fate do its thing. We're not going to force it on the boat. We're going to let fate do its thing on the boat and just get that part changed in the prop, hopefully this weekend. The new puppy takes up a lot of time. Like, you can't really leave a puppy alone too often. So he's home by himself for a good from 5 when I go into work, and then he's home till I get off of work, usually pretty much by himself. He gets out a couple of times, but other than that, he's stuck. So he's doing really good, though. He's not making peas, and he's not making poops in the house. So he makes peas sometimes. It's this excitement thing. I don't know. He's a puppy, so he'll learn. Like I said, it's just a pit hole. It's not a big deal. It's not like he's dumping bladder or nothing, but that's, you know, it's a puppy. He's a little confused about stuff, and sometimes he gets like a half pee because he's like, oh no, I'm not supposed to pee in here. You know, but that's what puppies do. They're cute. I like them. 21 degrees, Faye said. Yeah, Mark, there you go. It's just like bringing home a kid, dude. It's just like bringing home a kid. Faye, I don't know. That's rough. 21 degrees Fahrenheit. Goodness. And you should have a mess of ice. You should be frozen. Things should be happening up there right now if it was, wow. But it depends how much wind you got and how big your lakes are and how much water they got in them. And there's a lot of factors. There's a lot of factors when it comes to making ice. It's a pretty, listen, in case you guys don't know, that recipe is probably one of the most secret. Listen, if you could put a patent on that thing, the ice recipe would be a hands down game changer. I'm just telling you, people would sell it. It would be everywhere. You could buy it by the bag. It would come in all your drinks automatically. If you could patent the ice, the ice recipe. That's all you need is the ice recipe, and you will end up being rich beyond your wildest dreams. I'm telling you right now, I know it. Oh, see, Faye's made a year. Yeah, that's always fun. That's always fun, Faye. I'm really longing for the day that Forrest hits like 2. You know what I'm saying? 3, so we can get out of all this and he can take naps and sleep like a regular dog. Now he sleeps all night though, so I can't complain. After a week he slept all night, which is good. I had to get up one time every night for the first week, so I just couched. You know what I mean? I slept right on the couch. I was like, I don't even want to have to deal with me not hearing him. Or like it's emergency. Like I don't want to clean puppy poop off the little dog in the middle of the night. Like I'm not going to put him in his bed if it's dirty. I'm not that guy. So I had to make sure I was right there. He was cute. He learned. We tied a cat toy, one of those cat balls with the bell inside of it. We tied it to the door and taught him every time we take him out to go to the bathroom, we ding the bell, and then he got to the point where he would run to the door and ding the bell and ding the bell and ding the bell and stuff, and then we'd take him out and use the bathroom. So, but like I said, now it's a little bit more of an adventure. He's getting a little bit bigger, so he's like, I can wander around, and before he was just timid little puppy, scared new place, and now he's like, this is my house, this is where I live, let me check your stuff out, Dad. Hey, Dad, you got any wires in there I can eat? Because I like eating some wires, Dad. Let me get in that computer room, Dad. Let me play in your toys. I would love to see your toys, Dad. Oh, your floor is so clean. Let me pee on it. You know how puppies are. First snow actually stayed on the ground. Wow, that's crazy, Faye. So, see, now we're getting Faye's cold front. So if Faye's getting that, we won't see it for like another week down here in the south. So that's probably the one we've got coming in on Tuesday. You know how that goes. You guys know how that goes. Being in the south, I get to see everything you guys got going on. You know what I mean? Well, boys and girls, it is getting to be about that time. Again, slow it down. Search. When you find fish, stay where those fish are. Do not wander far, regardless of the size, because just because you end up banging on 3 or 4 little dink males, there might be some females in that group. The males were just way more aggressive at that point. You know what I'm saying? So spend a little time, do your research, make it happen, guys. Thank you again, everyone, for hanging out. We'll see everybody next Tuesday night at 7:15. And remember, guys, it's been real. It's been fun. We'll see you guys on the next one. See ya.